Good afternoon and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I wanted to see if I could make mayonnaise with cornstarch. If you don't have flour around, could you make it with cornstarch? And it's evident you can, but you have to change it a bit. So what I did was they said if you're going to use cornstarch in place of flour, you have to cut it half of what you would normally use for flour. So that would mean that you need 2.5 tablespoons of cornstarch and a half a teaspoon of cornstarch. In other words, that's the ratio. So you'll be putting 2.5 tablespoons of cornstarch plus that half a teaspoon. Then you add a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of sugar, and a teaspoon of dried mustard. Now you mix that up thoroughly. Then you're going to, in a measuring cup, you're going to sit there and use 1/4 cup lemon juice, or white vinegar if you don't have anything else to use, or lime juice. I mean, I've used all three of those. And you add 3/4 of a cup of cold water to it. Now you take that mixture and you're going to pour it into the cornstarch mixture that's in a small saucepan. When you get it thoroughly mixed, you put it on the burner and you sit there and you thicken it up. Boil it 1 minute after it gets thick. Then take it off the burner. What you're going to do in a bowl is take 2 eggs, and you are going to beat those eggs royally, as they say. Really give them a good beating with an electric mixer. Then what you're going to do is add the cornstarch mixture that you've cooked. You're going to add it into the eggs while you're beating them because you don't want the eggs to curdle. So you have to make sure you're beating with an electric mixer at the same time you're putting that in. You'll notice it starts to get thick. All right, when you get to that point, then you are going to add 1 cup of oil. I used my all blend with this one, or you could sit there and use corn oil or any oil you want, but those are my 2 favorite ones. Or you could just use plain olive oil if you wish. And you slowly add that oil in, mixing it all the while you're doing this, mixing it. And when you get the last of it in, you mix it thoroughly because you're emulsifying it really well. You'll notice that it's thick, but then what you want to do is put it in a jar. I put it in a bowl, stick it in the refrigerator because I didn't know if this was going to work or not. And I just checked it and it did work quite well, so I moved it into the jar. Let it firm up in the refrigerator a bit, put it in a jar, and it's mayonnaise. I've tasted it already. It's delicious. It's very, very nice. So if you don't have flour, you can use cornstarch in place of it. Just change the ratio, which I gave you, to make sure that, because they say cornstarch is more of a thickening agent than flour. That's why you had to cut it in half so you wouldn't sit there and have that problem. So another way of making mayonnaise. I didn't show you the video because I wasn't sure if this was going to work. That's why I'm explaining it to you right now. It does work. Take care. Bye-bye.